Hey everyone, Boomsie here with the Gunpla Network. Today we're going to take a look and review the RE1 MSK-008 Dijeh. Now this video is made possible thanks to our fine sponsors over at Canadian Gundam. Make sure you head over to their website and use your code Gunpla Network to save 10% off your entire order. And just wanted to give a brief thank you to the community. We just hit 21,000 subs. We're getting over that hump, so keep building and keep sharing. We can't do it without you. Alright, enough about that. Let's go ahead and get into the MSK-008 Dijeh. Now the K stands for Karaba, which, long story short, without giving any major spoilers, they're basically Earth's resistance against the Titans in Gundam Zeta. You may be familiar with the pilot, basically an ace pilot. That's Amuro Ray. So Amuro shows up and they're like, bam, slap it on the hood. This is what you got. He's like, I'll take it. I did want to show a side profile as well as highlight the leg area. If you take a look at this unit itself, you may notice that it does look slightly Zeon-ish. That's because it is a counterpart to a prototype for the RMS-099 Dijeh. So this is the kit straight out of the box without any panel lining. All we did was use the foil stickers. There's still the dry stickers and dry transfers, which I will show now. Here's the foil sticker sheet, well, what's left over. There's a few accent pieces, the pink for the mono eye, the red on the shoulder, the green foil there for the lens on the gun, and these two yellow accent pieces. Moving on, here's a quick look at the dry sticker sheet. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at its articulation and some of the details on the unit. First off, I did want to mention some of the really nice detail on the head, including the crest and the piping in the back. Now you can see the mono eye in there. That is just the pink from the foil sticker. You can move that, but it is very irritating, so it's kind of just better to leave it in a static pose, as there's no easy way to move it other than ripping off the top of the head and getting in there, and it's just a hassle. As you can see, there's a little notch when I was trying to mess with it, and you know, even if you have that painted, you would need to do a pretty good top coat to make sure that it doesn't chip. Like most RE100 kits, there are a lot of lines and opportunities for panel lining. The head does move left and right, but you gotta really kind of force it, and you know what happens when you do that. And that's mostly because behind the scenes, you can see that those piping pieces that go inside of that slot on the back of the neck is kind of stuck, and then it likes to overlap, which is what's causing that stopping. Here's a little bit of up and down, and just a little bit of that back and forward motion, and a little bit of rotation on the head. The torso, well, it doesn't move at all. So you got kind of like this beer belly thing going on. It doesn't really move. It moves up and down, but not so much side to side, but you will get a little bit of a crutch on the sides. We'll go over both shoulders individually. Starting with the shield shoulder, you're going to get some up articulation. Inside here, you can see one of those deep seam lines that will show up on the kit. Even if you squeeze it as tight as you can, you'll eventually see through that, but you can't really tell on the top, but you can on the bottom. Here's that gimmick from another angle. Like I said, that shield covers pretty much about, 99.7% of that arm, which is really cool. On the other side, we got the claw doohickey. It goes like this and goes down. These two holders like to pop out consistently. As you can see, this one is actually off the rail where it's supposed to be, and that is a commonality with this particular part on the kit. So I've just kind of left it the way that it is, since it is a little troublesome, but overall, I mean, it does look great and add that little extra flair onto the kit itself. You will get a nice little swivel, as well as a nice rotation. The red that you see in there is from the sticker sheet, and just a little bit of up and down. I did want to highlight real quick this shoulder gimmick. It's pretty nice. You're going to get a little bit of back and forth, and it's going to have a little bit of rotation in there as well. And that's going to help out, like I said, with that extension up. And you are going to get a nice rotation on both sides all the way around. Now both arms are not limited by each shoulder. They actually fairly move nicely. You will get rotation. And on the other arm, both arms, let me move the shoulder up, will have a nice double bend. Wrist is on a ball joint. And it's pretty much what you'd expect from there. Just comes off due to the armor blocking if you try to do a rotation. The front skirts move up. There's a little hitch that they can lock into, and that's on both sides of the front skirt. You will get a little bit of movement, which is nice due to the pretty good articulation in the legs. Side skirts, nothing too impressive. The panel here actually reminds me of kind of like a samurai battle armor. Pretty cool. Back skirt does have a slot there for the beam naginata. Back skirt does move up, and that's going to reveal some thrusters on the inside. On the back, you're going to see those red details. Surprisingly, those aren't stickers. They were actually color separated, which was nice to see. The thrusters themselves do have some articulation, but it is kind of limited due to the wing binder style. Taking a look at the binders themselves, they kind of remind me of a seahorse, which also the helm of this unit looks like one as well. Now these wings are a little troublesome. If you touch any of these panels slightly, they'll basically pop out. I don't really recommend gluing them. I would just make sure that you're mindful. If you have noticed, I've been grabbing them by this part, which has the most center stability for it, and I can show you that movement there. And the binders can move up and down. It's got pretty good motion. So leg articulation really depends on what you do when you're moving the skirts. If you don't move this, you're gonna get blocked with the kickback, but we'll go ahead and unlatch that into its full potential there. And let's do a kick to the front. The bend at the knee, which is a little rough due to the piping, so you're gonna have to hold that pretty tight. But as you can see, there's that really nice detail. If you bend it too far, it'll cause it to pop out of those little peg there, as there's nothing blocking that from coming out. So you definitely want to be mindful of that. It can be a little frustrating sometimes, see, as it comes all the way up. I don't know if maybe thickening that piece or not, because it is a rubber piece, so sometimes the paint and or like nail polish will be corrosive to that. So I don't know if that is a viable method. Maybe just leave it the way that it is. The kick to the back, that's about what you're gonna get. Pretty limited, but at least it's an option. The kick to the side, pretty good, but it's hindered there. As you can see, it's stuck on this peg style. Which, mentioning in here, you're gonna get two individual peg style leg motion parts, which is pretty interesting. Most of the time the RE100s do have this, but sometimes they don't. I just wanted to highlight all of the fantastic opportunities for panel lining on the legs. If you know me, you know I like them thighs thick, and you know I like them legs thick. Speaking of legs, we got that old stanky leg going on here. If you do the stanky leg too hard, this will happen. But no worries, you can just pop that right back on and it's good to go. We'll get a limited splits. Foot articulation is pretty basic. But like I said, there are some really nice opportunities for panel lining, and I really think I'm going to stick on my word in painting this new colors. That's not to take away from the fantastic turquoise color on this unit, I just see it in a different color for some odd reason. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at everything the kit comes with. It's not too much, but it is enough for the unit itself. So first up, let's take a look at the hands that it comes with. First up, we got a pair of open fists. Nothing too spectacular, pretty much what you would expect from a RE100. It's that two-piece style that you're used to. Basically pop that in, put the weapon in there, put that back on, and it's got the cover there for the armor. You're also going to receive a pair of open hands. These are pretty cool because you normally don't see that accentuated eccentric style hand included for the RE100 line. Usually it's just the open hand style and nothing else. Last but not least, the hands that were on the unit from the start, which were the closed fists. Nothing too spectacular, but they do look really good for being just basic. Then we got the clay bazooka. Yes, this is the same exact one that you saw in the review for the Master Grade Hyakishiki. There's a little peg here. Basically, you're just going to bring that out. That's going to bring that handle, which has a little bit of articulation and can be hidden for storage. Just some basic details on the back. Surprisingly, the ammo clip was not provided in this unit, but if you remember, the Hyakishiki had an extra one, so hooking up his homie Amuro here with some ammunition, as Bandai did not. And here's staring down the barrel of a bird, and pretty basic. Not too bad. Up next, we got the beam rifle. Yes, this is the same one from the Master Grade Hyakishiki, but the only differences are the handles. So here on this one, as well as the beam or clay bazooka, excuse me, these have the peg instead of the plug-in peg style, as I call it, and it does have the same mechanism up top if you pull that up for storage onto the backpack, which I will show you in a moment. And they stay true to form with the piping detail there. That is all color separated and very nice. Just a quick look at the barrel and the lens sticker. That's pretty much it. You will receive a plug, which goes underneath and onto your action base. Pretty standard. And one of the coolest weapons in Gundam history, at least to me, which is the Beam Naginata. This has always been a very cool weapon. And you're going to get two beam effect parts, which are pretty much the same color as that yellowish Mountain Dew color that we had on the Hyakishiki. Those are just going to simply plug in. Just a small tip, if you never messed with this weapon before, it does have a specific curve line, which means you got to put these effect parts in at a certain way. So the best way I can explain it is basically if the angle is going this way, it's going to have that same fleshness on the blade part for the saber. So I wanted to show how all of these things go on. It is very dark due to that navy blue on the back, so if the lights seem a little bit bright, I do apologize, but it's the only way that I can show you how all of this works. So you see here there is a little notch, and there are little pegs on the beam naginatas, and what you're going to do is just simply go ahead and put that in, and I like to kind of flip it up, ensuring that it does lock into that little slot. Now you may have noticed that I took one of the wings off. There is actually a little notch on that wing. You won't be able to see it unless I show you when it's taken out. So there is where you're going to want to push in this wing into that PC part, and that's where you're going to want to leave it if you want to store the weapons on the back. So you really don't have to push far at all. It may make the wings feel a little bit loose, but once you get those weapons on there, you can do a little soft, gentle press on the side to get them nice and tight. It doesn't really matter which side you go with, just make sure you hold that backpack part. I like to push from this angle, and it just snaps right in. And we're gonna do the same thing for the rifle. Again, sorry about the lighting. It is some super direct lighting right now, so there's gonna be a lot of shadows. And like I said, for some little security and stability, you can go ahead and just move those wings in, and they will move with the wings themselves. And just a quick look at the unit with its entire arsenal equipped. Here it is next to the Master Grade RX-78, the High Grade version, the SD Cross Silhouette, and the Master Grade Hyakishiki. Oh, that golden boy. So what do I think about the RE100 Dijeh? Well, it's from Gundam Zeta, and as we all know, they do have some wacky designs that just work. I personally have been a fan of this unit, and I think it gets kind of overshadowed for Amuro. There's some really good suits that he does pilot that aren't that typical style of Gundam. The unit is asymmetrical, which gives it a nice unique look and feeling. I've always been a fan of prototype grunt units, and this is pretty much a feast for my eyes. I know a lot of people complain about the coloration. Yes, it is a little 80s style windbreaker-ish color, I will admit, but with a nice paint job in any other color, I think that it will fit a scheme to your liking. The torso well takes a few points off for me. I am a posing nut, but this feels like it's kind of in a brace, and it makes it really limited. But the kit being able to hold its entire arsenal basically overrides that minor flaw. The piping that you saw on the unit is a little rubbery, feeling almost like a PC part. It's got that same type of consistency. They're a little frail, so I would be definitely careful when you're cutting them and placing them onto the unit. I had already removed all the PC parts and put them in a bag, but there were quite a few runners that were left over. They're just mixed in, or I would have shown that. The reason why I say that every time we have a RE100 review is because the joints seem to loosen on those PC parts over time, especially if you have them in a pose or a heavier kit like something like the Nightingale. I think it will have a great shelf presence, especially next to your Zeta Gundam or Hyakishiki. It is a big RE100, so it'll blend right in for all of you 1/100 aficionado collectors and the like. So I'd say go pick one of these up at 3,500 yen. You can't really go wrong. Some of the high grades are near that amount, and you won't get the same satisfaction of building something so simple and rewarding. To me, this is a must for any Grunt fan or Amuro Ray fan, so let us know what you think about this unit in the comments below. If you're going to pick one up, let us know. Make sure you tag us on Instagram, Facebook, and so forth. We just wanted to thank everybody in the community for watching today. Also, make sure you stay safe. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the sponsors over at Canadian Gundam. This is Boomsie, and don't forget to keep building.